Buakaw is an icon of Muay Thai and kickboxing. Many around the world consider him the best Muay Thai fighter of all time.
บุขาวเก่งที่สุดนะครับถามว่าจะมีเขาเป็นตำนานไปแล้วครับ
Women absolutely swoon over him. But it was his cruelty and brutality that cemented his legend in combat sports. His vicious aggression earned him the prestigious K1 Grand Prix title at only 21 years old in 2004. Even when the odds were stacked against him, and when the Japanese wanted to favour their own fighters, Buakaw gave no room for a defeat. As an underdog born as a farmer in Thailand, Buakaw became the Hulk of Muay Thai and kickboxing, smashing everyone in his way. With his epic knockouts, Buakaw earned the love of all fight fans around the world, becoming the greatest ambassador to Muay Thai of all time. Today we will show you all of the brutal and aggressive knockouts of the legendary Buakaw Banchamek, the White Lotus. Buakaw's huge streak of aggressive knockouts happened when he started to fight Western fighters. In interviews, he acknowledged that to be a great Muay Thai fighter, the fighter must be cruel. And that's exactly what he was throughout his career, a predator that was cruel to his prey. His first prey would be the Australian Timur Dow. After backing up Timur against the corner, Buakaw jumped up for a flying knee while grabbing the back of Timur's head. After landing flush and hurting Timur, he spun his opponent around and finished the fight with a vicious elbow. This was a classic knee into elbow chain that few in the world has ever seen outside of Muay Thai. Buakaw was only 20 years young. We got a peek into how charismatic Buakaw was when he started dancing with a ring girl. But with all of Buakaw's boyish humour and silliness, when it's time to fight, he fights like a monster. Buakaw vs Takayuki Koheri Maki. In this fight, Buakaw faced off against the second best Japanese fighter of this kickboxing era. It was a brutal fight where Buakaw fought like a Super Saiyan. This fight showcased why a fighter should never piss off Buakaw. After Takayuki used an illegal technique to throw Buakaw on the floor one time, Buakaw threw Takayuki to the floor in what seemed like 100 times. Before the rampage started, Buakaw showed Takayuki the meanest face possible. This was because he actually got hurt from the illegal kicking sweep. But anger is a powerful emotion that can be harnessed for fighting, so Buakaw used it beautifully.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
Everything Buakaw did landed flush. After he went on a throwing spree, he went on a low kick spree as his opponent helplessly threw haymakers in the air. Then came the brutal knees that made Buakaw iconic. With Takayuki questioning his life choices, Buakaw has found his opponent's biggest weakness. He even kneed Takayuki in the butt at one point. And he ended the first round with a 4-knee combination assault. To begin the next round, Buakaw went for the clinch immediately to throw a 5-knee combination. It's clear that the second best Japanese kickboxer did not know how to clinch. So to end the fight, Buakaw started to go for Takayuki's head with his knees, launching a 3-knee combination to Takayuki's head after applying the double collar lock. After the fight, Takayuki looked completely defeated, as if he said, "Damn, I shouldn't have swept him like that." After the fight, Buakaw still gave the opposing team respect like a true sportsman. But make no mistake about it, it was an absolute humiliation and Takayuki got destroyed. In the post-fight interview, Takayuki said that the first knee Buakaw threw took his breath away. From there, he said things did not go so well. In other words, the Japanese way of admitting he got absolutely destroyed. Buakaw vs Katsumori Maita. In the second round, Buakaw marched forward for a clinching right knee. This landed flush, but the opponent was tough and got up to keep fighting. But Buakaw continued pressing forward, backing his opponent into the corner and landing another right knee, ending the fight. Right after the fight, Buakaw charmed another ring girl. Just look at how happy this girl was. Buakaw vs John Horde Giat Adisak. In 2006, after getting the criticism that Buakaw doesn't fight champions from Muay Thai, he fought Thai legend John Horde Giat Adisak. Although John Horde was 36 years old, he was still fresh off of a 19-fight win streak. To start the finish of this fight, Buakaw would land a beautiful right hand left hook into low kick that rocked the legendary opponent. The right hand is a throwaway punch to load the power left hook to the body, and then the power low kick is delivered when the stance is disrupted. John Horde gets up, but Buakaw ruthlessly hunts the body again, finishing the fight with a powerful right hook to the body as the opponent scrambles out of panic. After this fight, Buakaw would never fight a Thai ever again. He said that he wanted to spread Muay Thai to the world rather than fighting his own people. Buakaw vs Yoshihiro Sato. In Buakaw's first fight against Sato, Japan's best Muay Thai fighter, he would score a quick knockout with a signature Muay Thai technique. When Sato went for a push kick, Buakaw executed a classic double hand push kick catch. By hanging onto the bottom of the ankle and securing the top of the foot, as Sato pulls his leg back, Buakaw can borrow the momentum to charge in for a left hook. When Buakaw saw the perfect opportunity, he slammed the left hook into the opponent for the perfect knockout. There was just no getting up from this. Buakaw vs Andy Sauer. After a very controversial decision against the Dutch legend, Buakaw again faced his nemesis in the 2006 K1 final. This would cement Buakaw's legendary status. In round 2, Sauer charged in to throw a hook. Buakaw ducked and then came up with his own left hook as Sauer looked away. Then when they were in a clinch break, as Sauer threw a left hook, Buakaw ducked again and went for a big right hook. This rocked Sauer, and as the opponent ducked down, Buakaw landed 3 right uppercuts in a row. To finish the fight, Buakaw framed the lead hand to blind Sauer and landed a beautiful long rear uppercut. He then framed again and timed a perfect right hand against Sauer's lead leg kick. Many people said Muay Thai fighters can't punch in kickboxing, but Buakaw proved that Muay Thai fighters also have good punching skills. In this fight, he beat one of the greatest combination punches in kickboxing history with his punches. After the fight, he was overwhelmed with emotions, becoming the youngest champion to win the prestigious K1 World Grand Prix tournament twice. Buakaw vs Hiroki Shishido. Buakaw was an absolute beast against Hiroki. Hiroki came out swinging for the fences and backing Buakaw to the ropes, but Buakaw wasn't having it. He went for a sweep and then a full powered high kick. While that didn't land, you can see the panic on his opponent already. As Hiroki charged in one more time, Buakaw landed a perfect check left hook that dropped his opponent immediately. The opponent also landed his own left hook, but Buakaw's left hook was just way stronger and with much better technique. With this one punch knockout, Buakaw then looked over him like an absolute badass. To celebrate, he did a cartwheel. Buakaw vs Jun Kim. Buakaw began the fight with a nut shot. Then when they clinched, Buakaw pushed off into a perfect high kick. He pushed with his right hand to frame, and when the opponent stepped back, his downward high kick landed perfectly, resulting in a knockdown. To end the round, Buakaw landed another high kick and got his opponent backed up against the corner, which allowed him to throw a right hook that downed his opponent again. To his opponent's credit, he kept getting up and fighting. When the next round began, Buakaw put on the pressure and went for hard roundhouses. When he missed, the opponent rushed in with a jab and allowed Buakaw to land a perfect check hook. To finish this fight, as the opponent rushed in for a big right hand, Buakaw pulled back to dodge the punch and clocked the opponent with his own right hand as he fell in. This is a textbook example of how to throw a right hand versus how not to throw a right hand. Buakaw versus Black Mamba. When Buakaw fought Black Mamba, Mamba did well by moving around on the outside and throwing power strikes there. He even landed a flush groin shot to Buakaw's nuts. But Buakaw, being the Iron Man that he is, didn't even flinch. Mamba was doing excellent offensively and getting the better of the exchanges. That was until he decided it would be a good idea to push kick Buakaw, which enabled him to use his signature catch into left hook again. Lesson learned, don't try to push kick a legendary Muay Thai fighter. When Mamba got up, he was no longer the same fighter, so Buakaw walked him down and eventually landed 2 flush right hands when Mamba tried to knee Buakaw in the clinch. Why in the world would an opponent try to out Muay Thai a legendary Muay Thai fighter? No one knows, but he learned his lesson. Buakaw versus Tobi Imada. In the fight against Tobi Imada, an MMA fighter who transitioned into shootboxing, we basically got to see what Buakaw could be like in MMA. Imada had just beaten Andy Sauer in a shootboxing match which allows takedowns. Buakaw was thrown to the ground via a judo throw early in the match, but he would defend a double leg attempt with a nice underhook. Then he transitioned into the clinch and landed a beautiful right knee. In an exchange, Imada would attempt a judo throw again, but this time he was thoroughly punished. Buakaw even threw the MMA fighter down in the clinch. Imada continued to try and take Buakaw down, but each time his leg was low kicked to oblivion whenever he moved forward. Eventually, he started to fall down from the damage. Imada tried to rally back in round 2 to swarm Buakaw, and it was a good strategy, but Buakaw kept finding a mark for the low kick until Imada could no longer stand up. Considering how Imada is an elite MMA fighter in Bellator, we got to see how Buakaw would do as an MMA fighter. The answer we got was that he would likely do very well. Buakaw versus Tomoki Makino. Against Tomoki, Buakaw got into the clinch, hung on the single collarbone as he controlled the opponent's lead arm. He trapped it and held the head in place to chuck an overhand elbow. As the opponent survived the shot, he followed up with a short lead elbow after pushing the opponent's face. When the opponent got up and rushed in for his own elbow, Buakaw threw a check hook and landed flush. When they landed in the clinch again, Buakaw used the single collar and finished the fight with an overhand elbow followed by a left hook once again. This fight showed how Buakaw is ruthless once he sees a weakness. He would repeatedly go after it once he finds it. Buakaw versus Piscitello. Against Piscitello, Buakaw got into a good brawl, but eventually the momentum shifted when they got into the clinch and Buakaw picked up the opponent and chucked him on the ground. When they clinched up again, Buakaw blocked his opponent's attempt to hold his neck with his elbow, and then shoved the elbow in for a beautiful knockdown. Then when Mikhail went for a rear push kick, Buakaw caught the kick and went for a left body hook. As his momentum moved forward, he used it to pendulum into trapping the opponent's lead arm and then into another overhand elbow. There was just no getting up from that. Buakaw versus Zadipov Rustam. Against Zadipov Rustam, Buakaw again got into a nice brawl with his opponent. However, as the fight went on, Buakaw was simply the better and more conditioned man. No longer was Zadipov smiling whenever Buakaw landed shots. In round 2, Buakaw pressed forward and framed his lead hand on his opponent to chuck a throwaway uppercut that levered into a huge left hook. To finish the fight, Buakaw pressed his opponent against the corner and landed a huge overhand. When the opponent didn't go down after getting rocked, Buakaw hand trapped the opponent's arm with an overhand again. After this shot, He went on a punching rampage, followed by an uppercut elbow, and ended the fight with a right hook. Buakaw vs Abdul Torre. Against Abdul, Buakaw had just come off of a gym contract dispute. He hadn't been paid for all of his fighting efforts throughout his last decade. Abdul thought this fight was an exhibition, and he didn't know that nut teeps are legal in Muay Thai, so Buakaw continued to push kick him to the nuts as he complained. After pressing forward the entire fight, as Abdul rushed in for an elbow, Buakaw landed a beautiful roundhouse knee. This technique is a roundhouse that lands as the knee when the opponent rushes in. After the strike, Buakaw looked back at his opponent and knew that he was not getting up from that nasty strike. Buakaw vs Maru Serra. Against Serra, Buakaw went on a combination spree against his opponent. All Serra was doing was receiving the combinations. Left hooks landed over and over again until Buakaw controlled the arm for an overhand elbow again. The opponent got up and pretended it didn't hurt, but Poker Face wouldn't help him against Buakaw. Buakaw push kicked his opponent to the face. As the opponent came charging in, Buakaw used his signature left hook again to land another knockdown. His opponent smiled and got up, but Buakaw rushed in with an overhanded elbow to finish the fight. Buakaw vs David Calvo. Buakaw's fight with Calvo was one of the most epic knockouts he's had. The opponent again thought it'd be a good idea to go for a push kick. Buakaw grabbed the push kick to leave it into a body hook. He continued the combination by throwing a high kick into a left body hook once again. The opponent got up and put up a good fight, which made Buakaw smirk and wave him on.
And there Calvo starting to fire. And Buakaw comes, says bring it.
As Buakaw backed Calvo into the corner, Calvo went for a very ill-advised jumping knee. Buakaw was never in any threat, and as Calvo landed, he was met with a powerful lunging left hook to the body that sent him flying. Buakaw celebrated explosively with a well-deserved knockout victory. In 2014, Abdul Torre decided to rematch Buakaw for the WBC title. Buakaw once again push-kicked him to the nuts. To rock his opponent, Buakaw pumped out his jab to his opponent's ill-advised head movement. As the opponent moved his head to the right, Buakaw did a super quick switch kick to Abdul's head. His opponent was clearly rocked, so Buakaw did a spinning kick followed by a bunch of jumping attacks. To land his first knockdown, Buakaw threw a flying knee off of a clinch break. When the knee didn't land, he used it to grab a single collar and tracked his opponent's spin to throw an overhand elbow. The fight was finished by the same technique as Abdul rushed into the clinch with a combination. These knockouts show that Buakaw is extremely consistent with identifying a weakness and finishing an opponent with them. Buakaw vs Gu Hui. When Buakaw started to fight in China, he took on their best fighters and became a superstar. In this fight against Hui, he trapped his opponent's head in the clinch and landed repeated knees until the opponent fell down. The opponent's head was trapped beneath Buakaw's armpit, and while pushing his opponent down and getting an underhook, Buakaw ensured he had the perfect position to throw as many knees as he wanted. Buakaw vs Wang Wei Hao. Against Hao, the Chinese champion spinning back kicked Buakaw to the groin. Buakaw told him to kick higher, then when Hao came in for a hook, Buakaw countered the hook with a perfect overhand. The next knockdown, Buakaw pressed forward to land a lunging left hook that levered into a high kick. The high kick landed as the opponent missed the right hand with no guard and no stance. Even worse, Hao leaned into the high kick, and Buakaw even landed a Superman right hand as the opponent fell down. When Hao got up, Buakaw chased him down with a knee. Hao ran away, which allowed Buakaw to land another right high kick. This time, Hao gave up. Buakaw vs Maron Tutu. Against Tutu, Buakaw landed 2 switch kicks in a row as the opponent tried to move forward. Then on the third charge, Buakaw timed a perfect check left hook again. It didn't matter that the opponent had a guard, Buakaw landed above the guard. Then as the opponent touched the ground, Buakaw sucker kicked him in the head. When Tutu got up, Buakaw looked annoyed and hunted the finish. With typical Hulk smash style, Buakaw tossed his opponent to the floor with an angry face. Then when he got up, he lunged in for a power left hook. With absolutely no guard, Buakaw jumped in for what's essentially a left hook haymaker. There was simply no getting up from that punch. Buakaw vs Nayanesh Ayman. Against Ayman, Buakaw again lunged in for a jumping left hook. There wasn't a whole lot of technique here, but it doesn't matter. If Buakaw lunges in and touches the opponent with a left hook, they go down. The opponent also tried to throw his own left hook, but Buakaw landed his lunging left hook while the opponent's hook completely missed the mark. This is the first time we've seen a shifting rear left hook punch. Buakaw vs Chris Gimby. Against Gimby, Buakaw threw a right hook to the body. Then he pushed Gimby out into the long range and used his right hand to create a blind spot on his opponent's right side. Then he threw a power high kick where the opponent couldn't see, and landed a picture perfect high kick as the opponent thought it was a middle kick. To end the fight, Buakaw pushed his opponent to the ropes and landed a spree of right cross left hook combinations. Buakaw celebrated like a king, and a king of Muay Thai he is. This is Lawrence Kenshin Striking Breakdowns. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any new episodes about legendary fighters. The best way to support our channel is to watch another episode. Thank you for helping us keep it alive.